Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Great Debate Show live on YouTube. About to get started right now. Uh, 1 second. 1 second. Yeah, almost. Here it is. All right. Here we go. Yo, 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 yo. Let's go. It's the Great Debate Show with your host, myself, Jarvis Jeffries, along with Terrence Smith and Nick Ely. The good guys are back in the building. We're better than ever, baby. And we've got so much to talk about today. Terrence Smith, Nick Ely, how y'all feeling?
Hey, I'm feeling great. I can't speak for Nick, but I'm feeling good. What about yourself, Nick? I can't complain, brother. I can't complain. I know you got to be feeling great speaking of them New York Knicks. 3-1. Hey, man, it's a good day to be a Knicks fan, and I don't get to say that much.
That is the
I'm
truth.
Also feeling very great watching this game that Jarvis was underrating before we got online because Miami's up 105-104. Caleb Martin just hit a 3 to get in the lead. How much time is left in there? 2.5 minutes. Okay. Milwaukee's Drew Holiday step back 3. This game is live, y'all. So I don't know what Jarvis talking about. This is a great game. Milwaukee still win. I didn't worry about that.
Apparently, it's the best game of the series so far. It hasn't been a game this good as you're making it sound. And if I was to watch it right now, I'm sure I wouldn't be as entertained as you are. But I'm about to try it out and see. But Terrence Smith has a lot.
If you're not enjoying this the way I'm enjoying it, because this is what I would pay for cable for if I was going to have cable.
I'm about to check it out. Yeah. But Terrence Smith.
I've got a list of things here, but I want to call a quick audible because I don't want to lose it, guys. Before we got on, Jarvis and Nick were talking about the quality of basketball with all the injuries throughout this playoffs. Jarvis says that the playoffs are ruined now, essentially. Hold me from wrong, correct me. Because of the injuries, Nick thinks it's different. Jarvis, plead your case.
I mean, when you tell me that stars like Ja Morant, Joel Embiid, the Greek Freak, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, when you tell me all of these players are going to be injured and they're going to miss games, and then Draymond Green being suspended, now De'Aaron Fox possibly about to miss Game 5, the biggest game of the series, because of an index finger injury that I knew nothing about during the game, man, it's ridiculous. I'm done. I damn near don't even want to watch. Steven Adams is done for the season. He's not coming back. That hurts the Grizzlies. Brandon Clark also not playing. There's too many injuries, and it's the main people. These are superstars. So to me, as good as it was starting off, Nick, I'm not going to lie. I disagree with you respectfully because this did have the making of a great playoff, a great NBA playoff season, period, in 2023. But man, all of these injuries, it's rough for me to still sit back and watch it. Something's just missing. And a lot of it is because these stars are missing. This is the NBA playoffs. If you're not injured, you should be able to play hurt. Now, I'm not questioning any of these guys' injuries, but damn, it seems like you should be able to tough it out. It's the postseason. After this, you're going home. And I just don't see the grit and grind that I would normally see from guys back in the day. And I hate to sound like that old school guy who's still living in the past, but I'm just saying, I've said this plenty of times in different sports, including football, that, man, these guys today, man, they just seem like they're just a bunch of...
Have you turned this game on yet? What are you talking about? Have you turned this game on yet?
That's my take. That's my take. I'm done. That's my take. I'm done.
49 points is a 1-point Miami lead. They just got the ball back with a minute and 5 seconds.
But this game wouldn't be. But this game would not be good, Nick, if Giannis played the last two games or the last game because they probably would be down.
Bro, this game is off the chain. Jimmy Butler just hit a step back three.
You're not.
Jimmy's not two. He's not two. I'm telling you right now. I don't know what. This is an incredible game that you are. That I feel like you are defiling and not giving the proper respect. And so when you have a game like this, you cannot say, like, okay, I understand. Giannis missed, 2.5 games, basically, whatever. Fine. The fact that he's coming back in this game adds more drama to it in a 2-1 situation. So the idea that this isn't great, I don't know what to tell you. Really the same thing with the Warriors and the Kings series. Draymond missed the game because of a controversial call. I personally don't understand what all the hoopla was about. A lot of people act like they were just so disappointed in the NBA for suspending him. I thought the idea that he stomped straight on somebody's chest on national TV was kind of a given. But whatever. Even with that being said, it's been a great series. Obviously, very competitive. Golden State tied it up. They're going back to Sacramento at 2-2. I don't understand how you wouldn't be looking forward to that. The Sixers did what they were supposed to do with the net. That happens. You're gonna have at least 1 or 2 series that's just been competitive. Sixers did what they were supposed to do. Hopefully, Joel Embiid is healthy and ready to go for the second round series. But that's just one of those. It is what it is. The Celtics and Hawks will be the same way. It's gonna be a gentleman's sweep. But that'll be over. Who am I missing?
Well, and whatever you're trying to say next to make your point, the Eastern Conference, as I said, is pretty bad to me. I'm sorry. The Knicks and the Cavs has been somewhat interesting. The Sixers, yes, they did what they did what they were supposed to do, but the Sixers just don't do it for me. I'm sorry. I like the Bucks in the East, but they don't do it for me. I'm sorry. It's only been good, and the Miami Heat are in the series because Giannis missed a few games. And yes, this is probably the game of the playoff series right here, what you're talking about on a Monday night as we record the Great Debate Show, Nick. But that's one game. Outside of Golden State and Sacramento, it hasn't been that good because of these stars missing. We're not getting everything that I don't know what to tell you on how the outcome would have been had this guy played, that guy played, outside of Embiid. Missing one game, a game 4 that they were already up 3-0 on. Now, look, if Miami and Milwaukee continue to be this interesting with Giannis in the lineup, good, great. I love me some Jimmy buckets. It's just like how much credit do you want to give Miami, for winning without him? And how much credit do you give the Phoenix Suns for beating the Clippers without Kawhi and Paul George? And they still, and shout out to Russell Westbrook and Powell and that other guy who comes off the bench. He's been playing good too. Starts with an H. I'm sorry. But those guys in LA, the Clippers and Morris coming out the bench, giving some good significant playing time. Just kudos to the Clippers for if this was one time, if Terrence asked me, and I know we got to move on. If there was one time where Terrence asked me, conspiracy or not, even though I know it's a damn conspiracy with this Kawhi stuff, something's not right. I think Kawhi is just that type of guy who says, man, I'm not laying down for anybody. I can beat Kevin Durant's ass. You saw me giving him the business. You're telling me we're going to lose the series? All right, I'm done. Tell him I'm hurt. And I think that's just what it is. I'm not really sure if he's hurt. If he is, okay. I heard about bad arthritis in the knees and the knee sprains and all kind of things that he's got. We'll talk about what we're going to do with him later. However, this is the one time where I would tell Terrence, nah, on the conspiracy or not segments that we don't do enough of here at the Great Debate Show, because the Clippers have been playing their butts off. And I just like it. They play hard. They fight to the end. It's just, damn, Phoenix just has too much for them without their superstars. But because of that, this makes the playoffs pretty damn bad to me, even though it was starting off to look very good, Nick. I said I disagree with you respectively. Respectfully.
I didn't even mention the Grizzlies and Lakers series. You can't definitely looking forward to that game for tonight.
Man, you know what? For some reason, I just think the Grizzlies are already defeated, maybe. I would love to be wrong, but no, it's not that exciting because the Grizzlies don't have all their punching. They don't have all of their fighting power. They don't have all their punching power. They lost a lot of it with Steven Adams and Brandon Clark being out of the lineup. Morant's missed a game. And then the Grizzlies offense seems to just be better sometimes without Ja. So I think the Grizzlies still are in trouble with Ja being back. And I hate to say that because he's a phenomenal player, a phenomenal talent. But they just seem to win and do better efficiently. Their offense, that is, without Ja. So no, I'm kind of looking forward to it a little bit, but not really. It's all right.
You got to remember, it's a different offense, and the offense teams are less used to seeing from the Grizzlies when it's without Ja.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ja's a starter, so that's the offense that you.
And he's paid. For. And he's paid. Yeah.
Right. For the Tyus Jones-led Grizzlies offense.
Yeah. Well, I know Terrence got to move on, but yeah, hey.
I just didn't want to lose that steam.
Yeah.
I wanted to capitalize on that.
Good stuff.
And we'll talk about the Aaron Fox's injury in a few seconds, but just for the sake of moving on, the Aaron Rodgers trade was finally made official today. Is it Super Bowl or bust in the Big Apple? Big, I'll let you go first. They just fleeced them, and they did exactly what I said. What I said they would do. They was going to wait this thing out, and it was going to reach a point where the Packers were like, "Look, we got to do something." Now, fortunately, the Packers, they didn't wait too long. But even with as long as they waited, I feel like the Jets absolutely won the trade. Which, I mean, they were never not going to win the trade, really. But essentially, they got a pick swap this year in the first round. They're giving up the second rounder. They got a conditional sixth this year. Sixth round this year, and a conditional second rounder in 2024. Probably a first round because it's based on Aaron Rodgers playing 65% of the snap. So in essence, you got Aaron Rodgers for a first round pick next year and a second and a sixth this year. Because they only swap them from 13. You only swap them from 13 to 15. Right. They're not to just drop to the bottom of the draft. They're still going to get roughly the same player. Not to mention, if the Packers, Jets, and whoever's at 14 aren't in the market for the same position at that point, then it's a moot point for the Packers, for the Jets anyway. I think the Jets absolutely won the trade. I'm happy that the Packers didn't wait until the end of the summer trying to be petty to make this even worse on themselves. I might be in the minority, but I feel like they damn near stole them.
Wow, Milwaukee Bucks are really going to lose this game.
Not at all. Well, I might be in the minority with you then, Terrence. Yeah, they damn near stole Aaron Rodgers, and maybe it was just a thing where the Packers wanted to get rid of him because of his contract and because of him. But it seems like they damn near stole him. Jarvis, what do you think about it?
Well, let me. I don't know. Let's take a look here. The picks the Jets got. They really basically just swapped the first round picks. It's not like they gave them one. I mean, the Jets get Aaron Rodgers and the number 15 pick, and a 2023 fifth round pick. That's number 170 overall. While the Packers get the number 13 pick from the Jets and a 2023 second round pick. That's number 42. Yeah. I think that's pretty reasonable. That's a 6th round pick. That's number 207. That ain't nothing to worry about in a conditional 2024 second round pick. That could become a first if Rodgers plays 65% of the plays. So I wouldn't say they gave him away. Considering Aaron Rodgers' age, how he's been declining a bit, I would say that I guess it's a fair trade, but I wouldn't say they gave him away. But this is what the Jets had to do. Whatever it took, because they had no other options. They were pretty much out of options, and they did a lot to put things in place to get Aaron Rodgers. So, yeah.
They did get him for 50% off, though.
Okay, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. So, look, the contract, did it ever change? Is it still 50 per, or are they restructuring that?
Was it like closer to 60?
Man, I think you're right. I think it is. But this is why I say they didn't give Aaron Rodgers away, because not only did you have to give up these picks, and, they're not bad picks, depending on who you're asking, but you have to give up a big salary also. He's going to eat up a lot of the cap space, or the remaining cap space.
But you're only going to pay him for a year or two, and you don't got to pay nobody else in the meantime.
Yeah, and my only knock on that, I wouldn't say Super Bowl or bust, Terrence, to answer your question, but my knock on that would be Aaron Rodgers. Well, since it's Aaron Rodgers, maybe, but I don't think the Jet fans are really looking for super.
Maybe that's the only reason you do this.
What I mean, that's what you do it for, but I don't know about or bust because it's the Jets. Keep in mind
that's the only reason you do this.
Keep in mind, it's the New York Jets, though, and they haven't even been to the playoffs in quite some time. I've heard some Jet fans just want a playoff win, and they'll get to the Super Bowl. When they get to the Super Bowl, they hope to do it during his tenure there. That is the plan. Year one, I don't know.
Those are things that fans say, I'd be glad to win a playoff game, But
yeah.
as the GM of the team and as the owner of the team, you don't make the move to go get Aaron Rodgers and pay him $60 million a year for the next 2 years to win a playoff game. You do that because you want to go win a chip. Point blank, that's the only reason you do it. And so I think,
no doubt.
I think, there's absolutely Super Bowl buzz for the Jets. But I think they put themselves in great position to do it. All right, Jarvis, you talked about coincidence or not. Here you go. The last two Hall of Fame quarterbacks, because I think it's a consensus that Rodgers is going to the Hall of Fame, and both got traded to the Jets. Is that just coincidence?
No, it is not. That's conspiracy. Come on now, of course. We knew it was going to happen.
Please let me know when you find the connection.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Why did the Packers trade both of them to the Jets?
Well, I think Terrence just answered that. I mean, I think he just stated it. I mean, first of all, it's not a coincidence that both of the Green Bay legendary Hall of Fame, future Hall of Fame quarterbacks are traded at the back end of their career to the Jets, both of them. I mean, what's next? He's going to end up Minnesota Viking when Kirk Cousins' contract is over? I mean, damn, it could. And I guess that would be a coincidence too, huh? I mean, I'll say that this is just the way it's planned. This is the way they had it dialed up. Look, the former 49er assistants who are becoming head coaches, coordinators, and general managers, watch out for what they're doing in the league. Watch out. And this is one of them. Robert Saleh, year 3, third time is the charm. He could definitely go to the Super Bowl. But Willie, if it's Super Bowl or bust, I say it's bust because Aaron Rodgers just doesn't look like Aaron Rodgers anymore, in my opinion. This is the same guy. How soon we forget we're doing all of this. We're going so crazy over this trade, and as if we forgot that this guy couldn't even beat the Detroit Lions at home to get into the playoffs. That just happened a few months back.
That's a good point. I don't think that goes to the Super Bowl either. I just feel like the AFC hits a little bit harder. He's going to have some. I know he played a lot of games in Green Bay, but he's about to have some real cold games. And he's got to play Buffalo twice a year. And even Miami over there, I still think a lot of them, even with Tua's issues. So I don't see them going to the Super Bowl. I do think they can make a wild card and get into the playoffs. But I don't see them going to. I don't think we'll be seeing them in Vegas if it's during the regular season or if they are just there gambling and doing other stuff.
Look, the AFC East just got more interesting, and Bill Belichick, you really, really, really made a big mistake by not going for Lamar Jackson.
I'll answer the question this way. If you're asking me Jets or the field in the AFC, I would probably say the field. Oh yeah. If you ask me, should the Jets be the leader in the clubhouse in the AFC, I would probably say no. I think this still probably belongs to the Chiefs until somebody proves otherwise. But right behind them, Buffalo's defense didn't really impress, particularly in the playoffs. They looked good early in the regular season, but as it got late in the season, into the playoffs, they didn't look that great. You know why they look that great? Well, injuries. Injuries.
Yeah.
Unfortunate part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Then you got Miami. They definitely made some upgrades, especially in the secondary. You got Jalen Ramsey, all that good stuff. But that still doesn't say to me that Aaron Rodgers led Jets team with the talent they have can't compete with Miami or will compete with Buffalo. And like I said, and compete with the Chiefs, compete with the Bengals, compete with the Ravens, or something they get this Lamar Jackson thing done. Because this is taking longer than I anticipated, considering the OBJ signing. So,
they'll definitely compete, Nick. They'll definitely compete. It's just Aaron Rodgers who I doesn't trust to get them over the hump, like they brought him in to do. I don't know if he can do that. He hasn't done it in, 12, 13 years since his last Super Bowl appearance. I'm banking and he's not going to do it now either. I could be wrong. If he does, it definitely helps his legacy because he's starting to turn into that Peyton Manning. And even Peyton Manning had 2 Super Bowls. But he's starting to look like just that regular season quarterback. And his regular season last year wasn't that good. That's all I'm saying. How soon we forget. If it's Super Bowl or bust, I think it's a bust for the New York Jets. but they definitely will be interesting and competitive, and I can't wait to see. But going to the AFC, I think was a bad move. He's kind of hustling backwards. Tom Brady left the AFC because he saw what was coming, and he was like, after a few games with Mahomes, he said, "Man, I'm going to the NFC South." Aaron Rodgers, hey, I guess this was his only option though. So, Terrence, what else we got, man?
I think it was his only option, but let's keep it going along here. So, we had a big fight this weekend, which we don't really get to say very often.
That's the truth.
Davis versus Ryan Garcia. If you've been around anybody the past few days, you know what happened. Tank Davis closed the show in the 7th round with a killer body shot. What do you guys think about the fight? What do you guys think about what should be next for either fighter? And I think my question is Tank Davis really the face of boxing right now?
Well, I would. No, go ahead, Nick.
Go ahead, Dr. You know more boxing than me. You go first.
Well, I'm just going to say yes to answer that question, Terrence. I think he is the new face of boxing. I find it odd that Garcia was so heavily favored by a lot of people, but not by Vegas. But so many people, according to Twitter and TikTok, lost a boatload of money betting on Garcia.
I don't understand that. Like I thought Garcia had a chance if he could somehow land a left hook.
Yeah.
But Tank just was not going to let him land that left hook. And I'll let you guys go before I kind of show some of the strategies that Tank was doing. I kind of went back and glanced at some stuff. What he did was really smart. But I'm with you, Charles. I do believe that Tank is now the face of boxing. Because listen, let's call it what it is. He is the only one who ain't ducking anybody.
That is true. Right? He's not ducking anybody. If anything, he's dropping everybody that he's getting into the ring with. I predicted it. Of course, you guys know it. It worked out pretty good for me Saturday night with my parlay. And I predicted a knockout. I was very confident in it. I did know the Tank had to watch it, but again, a pretty good fight. I think that they have to do it again, though, in my opinion, because it could have. I think they would down the line somewhere. Yeah.
He's got to earn their rematch, though.
He's got to earn it, maybe, but he had his shots. I thought he just was not aggressive enough. He didn't use his reach enough. He didn't, he didn't take advantage of the things that he had to his advantage. And you got to do all of that against Tank.
Yeah, and he even admitted in the presser after the fight that he got bored, and he started pressing too much. What this says to me is somebody that's not accustomed to. It says two things really. One is somebody that's not accustomed to having to adjust.
Right.
He's used to whatever he does every fight, working every fight. And Tank is not some normal guy you just go pick up and box. You got to use every advantage that you have because he's going to.
Yeah.
Secondly, it screams to me that there needs to be somebody in his corner that's going to get to him and say, "Hey, man, this is what you got to do," because we saw 2 knockdowns. I saw 2 mistakes. And both those mistakes were the same thing. He was fighting in way too close.
Mm-hmm.
The shot you think you're about to land, you're not about to land it because Tank knows you're doing it. And Nick, if you don't mind, I'll kind of jump on in, but as if I hadn't already. Right, knock yourself out, bro.
Yeah, you good.
Not literally, but a lot of what Tank was doing was kind of sticking his right hand out, which was his lead hand, to make it look like he was jabbing, but he really wasn't jabbing. What he was doing was putting his hand out to be able to time Garcia's left hand, which is his lead hand.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever Garcia would throw his left hook, Tank knew it was coming every time, and he would just duck under it. At first knockdown, you guys watched that, Garcia threw a left hook 3 times. On the 3rd time, Tank was literally just sitting there waiting on it. And he threw it again, which was, to me, just not smart. And as soon as he threw it, Tank, with his amazing leverage and torque on his punches, caught him with a beautiful left hook of his own, which is his strong hook, and floored him. Thankfully Garcia was able to get back up because it could have ended right there in the 2nd round. And even in the 7th round, Garcia was just way too close, trying to fight inside with a smaller guy who's got more leverage. There's a saying out there that says "Don't hook with a hooker," and he played a very dangerous game trying to throw hooks with somebody who just naturally has better leverage, better torque on his punches because of his size and because of the way his body is built. And it just wasn't a smart move. Garcia was a longer, bigger fighter. Should have been using his jab, using his reach, making Tank pay when he wanted to come in. Tank is a counterpuncher. He wants to counterpunch. Make him pay. Be first, get out of the way. Be first, get out of the way. It would have been a boring fight, which he said he got bored. It would have been a boring fight. People would have booed. But damn it, that never stopped Mayweather.
That's right. You do what you do to get the dub.
It's about winning because once you get that blemish on your record, that blemish is on your record. It ain't coming out.
Right. That's correct.
Well, I did a little bit of Twitter education, boxing, and I actually picked up the same thing that you said, Terrence, about how somebody I saw saying basically that not only was he using that right hand, his right being tanked to kind of measure Garcia, but then also that's why he continued to get close to him so he could time up when to go under it and when he could use his own left. And so it was painfully obvious once it was shown to me. They showed another example where he did it to somebody else that he used his right instead. I can't remember who the other fighter was that he did it to previously, but once kind of looking back at it from that standpoint, you see how much more of a not just a brute force type of sport that boxing is. I think there's a lot of people, and myself included, for a while that would just look at guys and go, okay, well that guy looks like he's bigger and more in shape and whatever else than the other guy, so I'm gonna pick that guy. But there's a timing and a rhythm and an art to this boxing thing. And watching Tank on Saturday was definitely a good demonstration of that. Absolutely, the good old sweet science, as they call it, man. And Tank's a master at it. And I need people at home to know this. And I'll say this and we'll move on. Unless Jarvis has anything else he wanted to add, but I saw some comments about people saying that it didn't look like Tank hit him that hard. Let me tell y'all something. Tank is taught to punch through stuff. That punch didn't look hard because he didn't miss and it doesn't look like he swung wild. But if you get the torque in your hips, the turning of the punch, and watch that punch again. He turns everything into that punch. It was perfectly timed, perfectly placed.
Yeah.
And once you get hit like that right there at that time, you don't see it coming, it hurts.
Yep.
It hurts. And once your brain realizes, oh, I should be standing right now, you won't be standing.
Yeah.
That's simple.
He made a business decision about it. He already had got caught earlier in the earlier round, and I guess he knew that, hey man, look, I've been defeated.
Yeah.
Go back to the drawing board.
That was described to me. I was asking somebody about it. It was one of my customers called in because he said something about the fight. He was like, yeah, I watched. I used to coach boxing, blah blah. So I asked him about it, and he said, well, you play football, right? I said, yes, sir. He said, you ever got hit over the middle, or later hit over the middle over a receiver, reaching up for a ball? I said, yeah, I've been in both positions. He said, you see how hard it was to catch your breath afterwards? I was like, yeah. He said, like that. I said, okay.
Yeah, and that's it.
Well, yeah, example. Then that hurt.
And there it is. Yeah, there it is. That's a good example. Terrence, I'm going to get you to move on. I just want to let it be known that we got people on YouTube right now listening to us live. And Jimmy Buckets, somebody was saying on the comments, Jimmy Buckets went for 56 of them things. And also somebody said that Tank really is he really this good, or is his competition that mediocre? I guess I would say that, hey, you fight who you fight. I would say that, I wouldn't say mediocre. He's knocked out. I would say maybe Garcia has beaten some mediocre fighters, but not so much as Tank. He's the man right now. He's the best that they've got. I know that may not be saying much in boxing these days, but he's the best they've got, but he's pretty good. I'm pretty good at picking these fighters. He was the only person that, like, okay, in this class, I'm watching Tank. And then in the other division, you've got Earl Spence and you've got Terrence Crawford. And I don't even want to talk about those two. Yeah, but those are the guys are the only ones that kind of do it for me. And a lot of respect to Sean Porter because he would fight anybody. But yeah, Terrence, we can keep it moving though. We're already half hour in. Yep.
All right, guys. So look, we already know what's this week. A lot of our favorite day of the year is the NFL draft. How do you guys see that draft playing out? Any special trades in the first first 5-10 picks, maybe. Jarvis, I think you might have some good insight on that for us. I'll start off with you.
All righty. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, so basically, guys, I'm gonna try to run through it as quick as I can. I'm gonna do 1 through 12 of the NFL Draft 2023. This is the way I see it going down. Maybe the Carolina Panthers. Everybody's saying, and I know I've been on the record saying that I think the Panthers really do love Anthony Richardson out of Florida, but it seems to me that Bryce Young is their guy, even though the general manager has came out and said, or the head coach has said that I have not confirmed that he will be the number 1 pick. It's smoke. Apparently, they're going with Bryce Young. He's the best. And I think that's the Texans' word on the street. The Texans really wanted him. So if they can't get him at 2, that's why they're probably not getting a quarterback just yet. I got the Panthers with number 1, picking Bryce Young, quarterback, Alabama. Everybody pretty much knows that one. That's an easy one, right? Number 2, everybody's confused. Houston Texans. Who are they going to go with? Well, if they're not going to go quarterback, I think that they would probably go edge rusher. We know how much DeMeco Ryan loves his defense to, kind of have these soft coverages, soft zone coverages, but rush underneath. Sometimes with just a front 4, or he rotates that D-line. But he's looking for somebody similar to Nick Bosa, somebody that can make plays off the edge, good pass rushing, has a nice little twitch to them, and can make plays. I would say most people would say it would be Will Anderson. However, I am hearing that they really do like the Texas Tech edge, Tyree Wilson. That's who I'm going with. He's right around the corner. He doesn't have to leave the state of Texas. It just sounds right for me. This is a lot of things that John Lynch does in San Francisco. These people do some of the same things that emulate what they saw in San Francisco. So I'll say DeMeco Ryan's going with, and Nick Casario, they're going with Tyree Wilson, edge from Texas Tech. The number 3 pick, everybody knows about it. It's one of the hottest picks because the Texans hadn't traded number 2. So we guess it's still 3. I don't think the Cardinals are going to stay put. I think the Cardinals are going to trade back. I actually have them trading back twice. Here's the first one. They're going to trade up. They're going to trade back with the Las Vegas Raiders. I have the Las Vegas Raiders moving up to number 3 to draft quarterback C.J. Stroud, quarterback, Ohio State. Why? Well, it just seems like Jimmy Garoppolo, whether he knows it or not, is going to be a bridge quarterback for the rest of his career. And he's there for the short term, not the long. I can see the Raiders drafting C.J. Stroud, just like the Niners at number 3, moved up to get Trey Lance. And Jimmy Garoppolo was like, here we go again. I got somebody else over my shoulder. He will get hurt at some point, so he'll play. Probably by week 8, week 9. You know how Garoppolo is. But I think he gets off to a great start. And if he doesn't get injured, Stroud just redshirts it just like Trey Lance, and we won't see him until year 2. But the Raiders are going for their quarterback at number 3. Number 4, the Colts. I think we all think we know. Quarterback, Will Levis out of Kentucky. They're not moving up to draft him. I'm pretty sure they're confident that he'll still be there at number 4, as I am. So I've got Will Levis going number 4 to the Colts. Quarterback out of Kentucky. Number 5, the Seattle Seahawks. Some people think that they may go quarterback, because, they just signed Geno Smith, but they signed Geno Smith to it's a good deal. It's a fair deal, but I think it was only like 2-3 years, and he's still kind of in that bridge category. That was just 1 year, and according to Terrence Smith here on the Great Debate, it's mostly system that's making Geno look this good, right? Look at Russell Wilson. He could be wrong to something. I think the Seahawks will pass, though, for right now on a quarterback, and I have them going with Will Anderson, the next best available pass rusher. They're going to jump on him when they find out the Texans didn't. But I'm hearing that Tyree Wilson is just as good as Will Anderson, if not better, as far as making plays on the pass, rushing on the edge. So Will Anderson goes to the Seahawks at number 5. That's edge. He's an edge rusher out of Alabama. Number 6, the Lions, Devon Witherspoon, a cornerback from Illinois. They are picking at number 6, and then number 7, the Cardinals, who traded with the Raiders. The Raiders moved to 3, the Cardinals moved to 7. But I still don't think the Cardinals are ready to pick it because Will Anderson is off the board, along with Tyree Wilson if they were going to go edge. So I think they trade back because there's a player that they also like. They think he'll still be there. They're going to make a trade with the Philadelphia Eagles. It's just something about Howie Roseman and these drafts here lately where he makes these splashes. Now, this is not a splash, but it's still a trade that he's going to move up from number 10 to the 7th spot with the Cardinals, and he's going to trade up for Jalen Carter, the defensive tackle out of Georgia. Now, I know people don't want to touch him. They're scared to touch him, but everybody's kicking the tires on this guy. And I think the Eagles, after losing Javon Hargrave to the San Francisco 40 freaking Niners, they have to replace him. And I think they replace him with Jalen Carter out of Georgia. I got the Falcons at 8 picking Nolan Smith, an edge. He's also from Georgia. The Chicago Bears. Some people say that that's who's going to get Jalen Carter. But, man, we know damn well Justin Fields needs some protection. How about Paris Johnson, offensive tackle, Ohio State? At number 9, that's the Chicago Bears pick. You got to protect your investment. That's Justin Fields. Number 10, I think the Cardinals finally draft here. At number 10, they go for a cornerback that they desperately need in Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon. Number 11, it's about to get real interesting. I weighed this. I don't know how much. I really did let this weigh on me. Are the Titans going to move up to 3? Are they going to move up to 2? I don't think the Texans let them do it. And I think the Cardinals, I don't think they wanted to move back from 3 to 11. I think they would much rather move back from 3 to 7, even though they moved back again from 7 to 10. I digress. I've got the Tennessee Titans at number 11. Drafting Anthony Richardson, quarterback out of Florida. Why? Well, I think if Malik Willis isn't the real deal, this is a better version of Malik Willis and some. They may stick around with Ryan Tannehill for one more year. I'm hearing he's up for trade, but who really wants to trade for Ryan Tannehill? Like, what are you going to get? If they're not giving up a bologna sandwich and a bag of barbecue chips, he's probably not going to get traded just yet. If he doesn't, I say Tannehill for 1 year until he gets hurt, and then here comes Anthony Richardson. Or it's Richardson and Malik Willis in training camp, point blank, period. And we'll see. They'll compete. But I think Anthony Richardson and Derrick Henry in the backfield is the closest thing that you would have gotten if it was Lamar Jackson back there, or if Malik Willis was who I thought he was going to be, or if Trey Lance doesn't get traded to Tennessee, this is their man, Anthony Richardson. And at number 12, I think the Texans, who pick again, go with Jackson Smith Najiba, or I can't pronounce that, but the Jackson Smith guy, wide receiver out of Ohio State. I think he's their pick. And I know what you're thinking. You think they're going to go wide receiver at number 12? They're going to go pass rusher at 2 and no quarterback? Well, I think they may pick their quarterback at number 33. And I got them drafting Tennessee quarterback Hendon Hooker. Now, all of this is if Lamar Jackson doesn't get dealt. I will also say in later rounds, the Giants pick at 20, even though I'm stopping at number 12, the Giants pick at 20. I won't be surprised if they trade with the 49ers. The Niners have a lot of comp picks, and that's the only thing that's bailing them out from trading Trey Lance. From trading up 3 first-round picks and a second for Trey Lance back in 2021. Those comp picks have been helping them out. It'll help them out to move to 20. They may be trading Brandon Ayuk to the Giants. That's the rumor in New York. They've been calling, and Brandon Ayuk has been bitching. He has to know something. If it's not Brandon Ayuk, it's Nick Bosa, but John Lynch came out just today and said Bosa is not on the trade block. They're not taking any calls on him, so he says. But nobody thought DeForest Buckner would have got traded either, but he did. And I know they're a little different, but still an impact on the D-line. That's it for me, 1 through 12. Keep in mind, I got the Texans picking their quarterback at 33 if they don't go for Lamar Jackson. But it's a reason why they're not picking a quarterback at 2 and at 12. They have something up their sleeves with a veteran quarterback like Lamar, or they're comfortable with picking Hendon Hooker at 33. If they are, that's it.
All right, we're picking up there. They're picking it up at 12. At 12, seeing as wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba has been drafted, I'm going to say that Houston is going to take Zay Flowers, who's been shooting up a lot of people's draft board. He's a receiver out of Boston College, 5'9", 182 pounds. I'm going to say they're going to go get him. Speedy guy, very shifty in the open field. Has some pro comparisons to an Antonio Brown or Randall Cobb type, which puts the Packers in a bit of a bind because in the mock draft that I had put together, I had Jackson Smith-Njigba actually dropping, and Zay Flowers being the first receiver off the board at 12 at this pick, and then having Smith-Njigba go to the Packers on the next pick. Then he is now gone. I would say the Packers may would look to buffer the offensive line, and so they would go with Paris Johnson Jr., 6'6" tackle out of Ohio State. Real big, obviously huge guy there. Solid guy. He's had some comparisons maybe to a Tyron Smith type player, just in terms of his athleticism and certainly his upper body strength there. Next at pick 14, the New England Patriots would probably also look to buffer their offensive line. They would take Darnell Wright, offensive tackle out of Tennessee, 6'5", 333. Another huge offensive lineman out there on at tackle. I think he played a good bit of right tackle with Tennessee, so you may see him more on depending on what New England has left. I can't remember who they had left the offensive line, but he may see either side of the offensive line there. Pick 15, of course, would be the Jets in their new spot. Brandon recently swapped that with the Packers. I'm going to have the Jets getting some support on the other side of the backfield for Sauce Gardner. I'm going to go with Deontay Banks, cornerback out of Maryland. He was one of the better quarterbacks, obviously, in college football. Southern had a great year with the ACC. In the ACC, I'm going to have him going to the Jets. At pick 15, that's going to be the Washington Commanders. They've done a lot in terms of, they've had a lot already in terms of their talent on the outside. If I'm not mistaken, have you already taken Anthony Richardson off the board, Jarvis?
I have.
Who's the quarterback? Will Levis?
No, I have him out the board at 4 to the Colts. I have Anthony Richardson out the board at 11 to the Titans.
You took all 4 quarterbacks off the board.
C.J. Stroud at 3 to the Raiders. Yes, I've taken all 4 off. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, you still got Hendon Hooker.
I don't know if Washington wants the project.
Yeah. Can I say this real quick?
I'll say this. Let me rephrase that.
Okay.
Hendon Hooker is not a project. It's because it's injury. That's really more what I was more concerned about. Because if Hendon Hooker was healthy, I think we'd be having a much different conversation.
I agree.
I don't know that Washington wants to wait for him to be healthy. So I don't remember what the prospects were on him as far as his return time. At the time of the combine. But I think if I remember correctly, he could probably be ready to play at some point this season. Washington wasn't there in position to hand their keys to their franchise over to a rookie quarterback at this point. I wouldn't necessarily say that. But depending on how good he looks, it could be a Russell Wilson situation.
Hey, that's the pick right there. And I know all the teams said they're out on Lamar Jackson. But that pick right there at 16 is where Baltimore could be picking it. And Lamar Jackson is going to Washington. Remember, the team has made the sale. It's official. Well, I don't know if it's quite official, but they've made a sale. Snyder's out of there. They're starting over. New regime. Eric Bieniemy's in the building. They've got a black general manager. They may be leaning towards saying, hey, are we really this sold on Sam Howell or whatever his name is? All the quarterbacks are gone now. As you said, I agree. They're probably not going for Hooker.
How do you went to Atlanta?
Atlanta?
How did you go to Atlanta?
Atlanta, they counted them out as well. They already took their name out of the hat also. But, I mean, they picked it like 8.
Where is Taylor Heineke playing now? Is he still in Washington?
Oh yeah, I think he's still in Washington. I think, but they're going with Howell. They said as the starter, or they're going to at least let him compete. No, they said they were going with Howell, and I just don't buy that. So,
Caleb Heineke's with the Falcons.
Oh, okay, Heineke's with the Falcons. Okay, so it's him and Rittler, and Rittler's their starter. Whatever. That's another team that's suspect on that quarterback stuff. But I'm telling you, this is the pick right here where I would say if anything's going to happen, and it probably won't. This is where Lamar is traded right here at 16. Baltimore picks at 16. Washington gets Lamar Jackson and a few other picks. And that's a talented team with Eric Bieniemy there. That would answer that would solve the riddle as to why in the hell did Eric Bieniemy leave Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes to go to Washington with those quarterbacks on the roster. That would solve the riddle there. If he's already known, he's just going to come right up the road from Maryland to D.C., just cross the state line. I'm sorry, Nick. Just wanted to say that while you were at that number. Yeah. Okay.
You are good. That's relevant. Definitely, especially with Terrence on the show. And Lamar Jackson being the story that he is. I'm gonna go. So if you can put that in, fine. I'll move on to pick 17. I will have the Pittsburgh Steelers. I will have them also buffering their secondary. I'm gonna have them go with Emmanuel Ford, cornerback out of Mississippi State. Which I hate to say it, he's one of the cornerback. Has been obviously me being an Ole Miss grad, but they had like 6 pick sixes in the last 3 years, 14 interceptions in the last 3 years. It's good pick for the Steelers. I definitely see them making that. Behind that, at 18, I could see the Detroit Lions. Let's go another cornerback. Let's go Joey Porter Jr. He is 6'3", 193 pounds. Played at Penn State. I believe he is the son of Joey Porter, the linebacker. Is that correct?
I think so. Yep.
Okay. I'll make sure one more because isn't that like a player who's a junior, but his father is not actually
Kenny Lofton. Kenny Lofton Jr., the Grizzly.
Kenny Lofton. Okay, yeah, I knew it had to be somebody.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't say that incorrectly. So yeah, I could see him being the pick at 18 to Detroit. 19, you got Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going to have Tampa Bay bump their wide receiver room just because of did they get rid of Chris Godwin? Or is it still uncertain against him with his injury? Chris Godwin he's still there.
Who was that, Nick?
He's still there. Chris Godwin. He's still there. He's been injured. Mike Evans, he's 8 years into this thing at this point, I think. So I think they look to bump their wide receiver room. I'm going to go Quentin Johnson, 6'3", 208. Out of TCU. He's a always top kind of receiver guy. He can go up and get it. I'm gonna send him to Tampa Bay at the 19th pick. Am I going to what, 22? Yeah, go ahead. That's fine. Okay. So at 20, I'm gonna have Seattle taking. I'm gonna take offensive lineman Osiris Torrance. Out of Florida, 6'5", 330 pounds. Played in the SEC, obviously, seeing some elite talent that he's going to get every week there. So certainly somebody that can fit into the fold in Seattle and kind of the culture that they have as well. Pick 21, it's going to be the Los Angeles Chargers. And I'm going to say that they also go. I'm going to say they go wide receiver as well. I'm going to say they surprise a lot of people. Go up to get Jordan Addison, USC wide receiver, 5'11", 173 pounds. Not the biggest guy in the world. They kind of had that, with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams over the years. But one of both of them always seems to be hurt. So somebody that can, kind of add support in their wide receiver room would probably be welcome in LA. So I'm going to Jordan Addison to be able to stay home there in LA, kind of going from USC to the Chargers, and then. As a matter of fact, I will leave 22. No, I'm sorry, because Jarvis already made the trade, so Baltimore's not at 22 anymore. Well, I think they would still keep their. On the second pick, they would just get. According to Jarvis, they would just get whoever picks that trades for Lamar. Okay. negotiate a pick swap, it wouldn't necessarily be a pick swap.
That's correct. No, that wouldn't be a pick swap.
Yeah. Okay. So then I will leave 22 to be drafted by the resident Raiders fan. Yeah. So you've already taken Joey Porter Jr. off the board. I can tell you now that if he is there, the Baltimore Ravens will pick him, one, because they need a cornerback, and two, to kind of rub it into the Steelers fans who Joey Porter played so many years there and won championships and was pretty much the heart and soul of the defense for a while. If Joey Porter Jr. is there, I can tell you now he's a Raven. If he's not there, they're more likely going to go with Quentin Johnston, the wide receiver out of TCU. Those guys actually had, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they had two really good wide receivers. And hey, listen, it's the Ravens. We'll take any kind of wide receiver help we can get. The Texans, kind of, is this Texas or Minnesota?
I think that's Minnesota at 23, yeah.
Yeah, it's Minnesota. There's been a lot of talk of Minnesota taking a quarterback. I just don't think that'll happen. If they do, they'll trade up. So, I mean, listen, guys, this could go in any kind of way. But I want to have them taking a running back right there because there's been a lot of talk of them getting rid of Dalvin Cook. And if they take a running back, they're going to go with.
Yeah.
You guys have already picked this guy. Y'all let me know that. I'm sorry. I think Bijan Robinson is already off the board by this point.
Not off mine. He's not. A lot of people have him going to Atlanta at 8, which is pretty high. Well, I don't know. It may not be too high, but
I didn't draft him in mine either.
He's not in. Yeah. So you're good.
In mine, I had him going at 10 to Philly. Okay, so if Minnesota's picking, I'm going to say they'll take Bijan Robinson right there.
Okay.
Just because Dalvin Cook could be a draft day trade. They're trying to get rid of that contract. They don't want to pay him. So it could end up being a draft day trade. At 24, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're going to go tight end. They'll go Michael Mayer out of Notre Dame. Next up, we'll have the Giants at 25. And they're going to go Brian Branch out of Alabama, cornerback, safety.
Oh, wow. The Giants pick at 20 and 25?
Let's see here. No. 20 is going to be Seattle.
I'm sorry. Okay, that's the Giants. It was the Giants pick at some point.
Sounds about right.
That comes from that. Okay, that pick comes from the Giants. I'm sorry. Okay.
That's okay. Next up, we'll have the Dallas Cowboys. Now, Nick, did you take Emmanuel Forbes out of Mississippi State? I did. Okay. So with that being said, the Cowboys, they're going to go cornerback too. They'll take Julius Brents out of Kansas State.
Okay.
I think the Cowboys, they're looking. They could have a cornerback room of Diggs, Gilmore, and to take a cornerback here in the first round. And you are talking about one hell of a secondary right there.
Yeah.
The Cowboys, I think they're a team that's pretty solid now. They should probably consider a receiver here, or maybe a tight end. But they could definitely take a cornerback there, and they wouldn't miss a beat. Buffalo Bills. I think Buffalo Bills should probably honestly consider going safety. But they also need a pass rush. And we're going to go with Marvin Smith out of Michigan. And who we have next? We got the Bengals. Bengals are going to go, and they've got a lot of ways they can go also. And I think, once you get down to the end of the draft, man, you can have somebody to trade back into the first round.
Yep.
So be mindful of that. That's actually how the Ravens got Lamar, because he kind of failed, and they drafted back in the first round to get him. But for the Bengals, let's go Lucas Van Ness, edge rusher out of Iowa. I just think they don't really have a lot of holes outside of the line, but they've been kind of bolstering their line, I guess, probably through free agency over the last couple of years. So Cincinnati's in a really good spot. They don't really need a whole lot. They might even trade out in the first round. I wouldn't be surprised. Saints are going to go with Keon White, edge rusher out of Georgia Tech. Nick, what are the Eagles going to do, man? What are the Eagles going to do at 30? Eagles at 30. Give me a second. Think they'll trade out of that pick?
I was
thinking about that, actually.
I think that's what the Eagles will be trying to do after the move, if they make that move that I'm saying for Jalen Carter. I think that'll be the plan for the rest of the way to get more picks. So I can definitely see them trading out of that.
Let me ask you this: has anybody taken Noah Smith off the board?
I have him going to Atlanta Falcons at 8.
All right, you jumped up to him. All right.
You know how it is, man. After one corner gets picked and the next team does it too. So I'm just kind of looking at it like, okay, as soon as I think I have Arizona, no.
Did anybody take Miles Murphy? I did.
No.
I'm taking Miles Murphy. He's an edge rusher, 6'5", 268 out of Clemson.
Okay.
Young. He just turned 21 this year.
Wow.
But I think he's close to a 4.5 in the 40 at the combine. This spring.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, Nick. The Chiefs didn't win that game, though. Technically.
No, I said the draft is based on your record.
Well, not all the time. It is, but there's trades and things. I think the Chiefs are actually 31. I don't see a 32 pick. I think it's the Chiefs at 31.
There's no 32 because Miami got that pick taken. Miami got that pick taken.
There it is. There it is.
Who's the Chiefs draft at 31?
Man, the Kansas City Chiefs probably go wide receiver if there's one available. They lost Juju Smith-Schuster, and did they bring back McCall Hardman? Yeah, I think they brought him.
I think he left too.
He left too. I say receiver.
McCall Hardman went to the Jets.
That's right. Sure in the hell did. Oh man, look. You know what? Maybe it is Super Bowl or bust for Aaron Rodgers did in New York. I forgot about that one.
It's got to be a Super Bowl or bust, but it also has to be a receiver.
Yeah.
At that point, I won't be surprised if they trade up in the first round to get a receiver. They got to have one.
Yeah. And this is what I would say with the Chiefs. They need. I wouldn't say they gotta have one after what they showed me in 2022. I'm convinced the Chiefs are just gonna be the Chiefs regardless, as long as Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid is there. Forgive me for what really it's not that I believed it in the first place. It's just that I thought that, hey, this Russell Wilson thing in Denver was really gonna be a hell of a ride, but it wasn't much of a ride at all in 2022.
We can call it a hell of a ride. They went through hell.
What I also didn't know was that the Chiefs had won 6 straight AFC West championships. I didn't know that it was 6. Otherwise, I would have knew that they were going to make it 7. Yeah, y'all know how I do, but I didn't know that.
All right,
so
guys, look, we're gonna try to progress on through this thing.
All right.
So let's get back to the playoffs for a second here.
Yeah.
And I think the rest of
that's a good mock draft too, guys. Really good mock draft. Okay.
Before we exit the draft,
okay.
Does Trey Lance get traded during the draft?
Does Trey Lance get traded during the draft? Well, you know what? I was on the verge of saying yes up until, for whatever reason, today. And I'm thinking, but damn it, no.
Yeah,
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no.
I think they know internally that Purdy is not going to be ready when they thought he was going to be ready. So now they're going to have to lean on Trey a little bit more.
Yeah.
You and I, we all got those Brady rumors about Brady maybe coming back for San Fran. And listen,
San Fran or Miami. Yep.
I do believe if San Fran calls Brady, I think Brady suits it back up one more time.
And it's the question that I have. And I think you're right, T. Why in the hell won't they call him? At least just call him. You called him when he was still a Patriot. How can you not call him when he's free?
I think maybe they have already. He's giving them a verbal agreement that he would. And he just doesn't want to be. He doesn't want to do it right now. Maybe he'll wait till like training camp or something.
Well, he's throwing hints at the Dolphins. He's throwing hints at the Dolphins too. Go ahead, Nick.
I think the 49ers have called him and Brady said, "I'm done."
You're probably right. Now that I can believe. That I can believe.
I think Brady is done. I think he don't want to do it.
No, I don't think he's done, but I think he told the Niners he's done. He's been flirting with the Dolphins. He's been flirting with the Dolphins. Did you not hear what somebody asked him a few days ago about the Miami Dolphins? And he actually said and admitted to, yeah, I kind of do cheer for the Dolphins. I've got a lot of good friends on that team. I mean, you didn't have to go that far. Everybody had been saying a lot of.
That don't do nothing for me.
Well, he went out a little further. He went out a little further with it, but in the end, Peter King or somebody said that NFL execs said that they had been hearing that Brady is not done, and he probably will be the Dolphins quarterback in 2023. Now, that's just what I've heard.
The NFL execs that were hearing that, the 49ers execs, they said it to each other, and then one of them said it to a reporter.
You may be right. You may be right. But hold on. When I was saying that Brady,
I feel like Brady is in that Kobe Bryant mindset of I done gave it everything I got. I'm done.
You may be right. You may be right. But when I was saying Brady to the 49ers, I didn't really hear much from you guys. Like not you, Nick, at all. And so I guess you really do think that he's done. I don't. I just really don't. And until week 1 gets kicked off and underway, and he's not on a team on an NFL roster, then maybe I'll believe it. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, really, I didn't think about it anymore until this recent flurry of because I'm ready to play for next team next year, and
right.
So when it came out, I was like, I don't think Brady wants to do this anymore. Like I think he's at the point where all right, I'm gonna take this year and get ready to start on Fox next year and make $37 million a year.
Yeah. Well, to answer Terrence's question, no, I know he has to move on, but I think the answer is no. I think that the Niners will be smart here and realize we gave up too damn much for Trey Lance to get rid of him, not knowing if he is the answer or not. Because I'll say it again, this is the last time I'm gonna. Well, no, it probably won't be the last time I say it. But if Trey Lance is traded elsewhere and he's balling, and they find out Brock Purdy turns out to really just be lightning